Welcome to another episode of the Adultish Podcast. You can like, listen, comment, share, and subscribe to Adultish on most streaming platforms. You can also find Adultish on Twitter at AdultishP0DCAST. Welcome, everyone, to a brand spanking new episode of the Adultish Podcast. As always, it's your host, Afiya, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Vincent Bernard. Say hello to the world, Vincent.
Hello, beautiful people. How
I'm guessing we are all well, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not feeling too great, but it's whatever it is.
I'm feeling fabulous.
As always, because you know you're super moisturized and oiled and all the juices and twigs and berries, all that good stuff. But tonight on this episode of Adultish, we are joined by someone very special. We have talked about this person time and time again, and it's great to finally put a voice to the name. Give it up, everyone, for the Cuban. Say hello to the world, Cuban.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
I'm giving him all the sound effects. Just really cool. So the Cuban is going to be joining us tonight for a couple episodes, actually, of the Adultish Podcast, and we're just going to be bouncing off a few ideas. As we all know, if he is a big Disney buff, and there is going to be an episode of Fifi After Dark that's going to be talking about what we're going to be talking about today, but it's going to be the precursor to this conversation, which is all of the black buzz going on around Disney. So as you guys know, I'm like a huge Disney file. I have a big issue, however, with a lot of the Disney live actions coming out.
That's right. Yeah, we talked about Beauty and the Beast, and I loved it, and you hated it, and I thought it was okay that they did a frame by frame remake.
On some straight.
I kind of dug it, but
so word around town is that the Lion King, well, as you know, in the previous podcast we were talking about how the Lion King was coming out. The Lion King is officially out. It's been out for a couple of weeks now, and the reviews are a mixed bag.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm going to just jump right in and say, I have not seen it. You guys already know I'm probably not going to see it. I won't watch that until it actually hits Netflix or something like that. But my sister's seen it. A couple people I know have seen it. And the big, issue that people are having is that the Lion King, done over in the CGI quote live action, they focus too much on the hyper realism of the lions, that the lions have no emotions.
Right.
They cannot emote.
Yeah.
And so it's like sitting down and watching the Discovery Channel,
right,
but just with lions talking.
Right. And I'm sure someone right now is creating a spoof of that very thing.
I'm absolutely
and probably
sure.
should be like, the Lion King be like, or something like that, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? I remember when I first saw the preview for it, and I saw Scar.
Yes.
Now, and you know, Scar is such an important character in the story because he's the villain. And like, so, all right, so people, I'm going to preface this monologue that I'm going to go to, this timed monologue.
Yes.
I'm going to go through because the Cuban has never seen any incarnation of the Lion King. So right now, gasp, clutch your pearls, grab your tits, because actually there's a human in the world who has never seen the Lion King. Don't worry, I still love him. But with that being said, it's basically, just so you understand, a story about, you know, a man who was jealous of his brother who was king, so he plotted his death and his son's death to take over the throne.
I would say it this way: you are a literary.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like a Greek.
So it's basically Hamlet.
It's Hamlet. It's Hamlet.
That's true.
Hamlet, but with lions.
Yes, exactly. And this is why I love Afiya. And ladies and gentlemen, when you're English majors, humanities majors.
Yes.
Humanity is important. This is
Shakespeare.
why. Yes.
Exactly.
But like that's basically what it is. And Scar is the villain. And in the cartoons, he was kind of like skinny and slinky. And one could say he probably was the gay brother, but he was a younger one.
Because he had that beautiful black
that mane. He had this, so he wasn't like Mufasa was
flipped.
big. James Earl Jones did his voice, just to give you an idea of the power
Right.
that he carries.
Yes.
Now, who's the guy who does
Jeremy
Scar's voice?
Irons.
Jeremy Irons, there you go. Jeremy Irons is Scar's voice. So he's got that like English, like lilt and that, the way he says things. Even
Yes.
Scar even moves kind of like dainty.
Very posh.
Very posh, you
Yes.
know? But he was the brains. And the scene when he murders his brother, it still gets, I can see it right now. Like
Yes, it's very vivid.
Sticks his claws into his hands and like Mufasa screams and he looks him in the eye. He says, "Long live the king." And the shot in Mufasa's eyes, now I get emotional. And he hurls him like the way that. The way
he claws into him, he like literally picks him up and flings him
yeah,
into
and
like
you
the
can
valley.
see the sharp claws.
Yes, you see the
Off
claws.
a precipice or something. Like
Yes. And he gets
trampled in a stampede.
Right. And so for those of us who've like,
well, I've seen the trailers.
Okay.
Okay, so you can give me some credit.
So like he looked mad ashy in the preview.
In the preview.
And he didn't have that.
And a lot of people were actually upset about that because they were like how he looked really, really mangy,
like unhealthy,
really dirty.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we get it. He was mangy and dirty. If you figure he lived in the elephant graveyard and like there wasn't much there and he was chilling with hyenas. So of course he looked mangy.
Hyenas, right. Yeah.
But I think the draw to Scar was that
he's highly intelligent.
Exactly. Despite the fact that he had to live in like these very poor conditions, he was still able to maintain this sense of regalness.
Yes.
Even though he was like the lowest of low.
And
he was the brother no one wanted. Exactly.
Right, exactly. And
he would never ascend to anything.
He didn't have any women around him. He was alone.
He was alone.
So he was that. So when you think about lions, and now I'm going there. When you think about lions,
the pride.
The pride, there can't be two men.
No.
So basically he probably was a brother that was beat up and was ousted.
Yes.
Like what they do in the pride.
Yes.
So I don't know I'm getting all like whatever, but this is, I'm guessing that this is kind of how they approach it when they tell this story.
Yeah.
And so it came out. Now the whole big buzz was, Beyonce's doing
Beyonce
voice. And I knew that was going to be an issue. And no shade to B.
No shade.
Because the Cuban and I, we have a thing because he likes Beyonce.
Okay.
And so sometimes we kind of like joke around and he'll say a thing or two or whatever. But I knew that Beyonce doing a voice
was not the best.
Was going to be a thing.
So here's my.
So what's the thing?
So here's my thing about the Beyonce voice. And I said this on the fad that I did.
The Beyonce voice.
I believe that Disney's intention was that they wanted to give, and I say it this way, they wanted to give black folks something. Right? Mm-hmm. Because let's face it, a lot of the Disney movies or a lot of the movies produced by Disney, they are not high in representation.
No, absolutely not.
And for whatever reason, a lot of people, well, not for whatever reason, for very minimal reasons, a lot of people attach The Lion King to blackness.
Yes.
Right? Because it is
African.
set in an African country.
Right.
You have the music in the beginning that's like Tanzanian, I believe.
Yes.
And then of course, you had the voice of James Earl Jones. Yes. Now my gripe with that was the fact that in the original Lion King, only 4 out of the entire cast, there's only 4 African American actors.
That's true.
There's only 4 black actors because Madge Sinclair is Jamaican.
She's Jamaican?
Yeah, I read that on Wikipedia.
Okay, rest in peace, Madge Sinclair.
Yeah, West Indian, let's call it
West Indian.
So you had 4 people who were actually of African descent. One died on screen. The other, you barely saw her. One was a hyena, and the other one was the magical baboon Negro.
Oh yeah,
who was Rafiki?
Yes, Rafiki, right?
So you only had 4 black actors, voice actors in the entire film. In the original, all the other main leads like Simba and Nala, that was like Matthew Broderick and like all those other people.
Well,
so,
Jason Weaver did young Simba's singing voice.
Who?
Jason Weaver.
Jason Weaver, yes.
He did the singing voice. Yeah.
So
it
was very, despite the fact that a lot of people identifying The Lion King as something that was very black, in essence, it was not. Right. So I feel like this time around they made a point of only casting maybe three white people to do the voice acting,
Seth Rogen being one.
Seth Rogen, John Oliver, was Zazu, and
Zazu. He's perfect as Zazu.
Yes,
because Rowan Atkinson did the original one.
Billy Eisner. They were Timon and Pumbaa. Simba. Not Simba, Seth and Billy. They were Timon and Pumbaa. So they made a point of doing that. And I feel like Disney's trick to that was, let's not make people who love The Lion King feel too ostracized by putting Beyonce, because everyone loves Beyonce. Black, white, indifferent. Everyone loves Beyonce.
Yeah.
Issue is Beyonce's not an actress. No. I'm sorry, Beehive. I'm sorry, Bay lovers, Beehive, all people who love Bay. Like, I love her as a singer, as a performer. I really do enjoy her.
She's a good performer.
But let's call a spade, and not, no pun intended, because she's black. Let's call a spade a spade. She can't act, okay? She's not a voice. She's not an actress. And even in the roles that she has done, like in Dreamgirls and Cadillac Records, etc.
Oh, yeah.
If I want to give her credit for those two things, guess what? She's still not a voice actress.
Right.
Because I think there is a different caliber of acting that goes into physical acting, where you're working with people, versus voice acting, where you can basically change your voice or melt, you can do things to your voice, to the timbre, to your sound, to your depth, to your tone. To people do like, oh snap.
Right.
They did the voice acting for this?
And as a singer, you would think that she would be able to do that. As a singer, you would
think she would be able to do that.
Vocally when she's talking.
But in Dreamgirls, her lack of depth actually works for the character.
Worked for her because Dina had no character, that's why
her superficiality actually worked.
Yes, because Curtis was like, I can meld you into whatever I want to make you into, and that's exactly what Curtis does.
She comes off like a Stepford wife kind of.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
and even and this is no shade to B, but like. But the early part of her career, I'm agreeing with you. The early part of her career, like, she was kind of robotic, and then like people can't really relate to her, and that's what she started doing all the blackness.
Because that's how her music started out. It was like, okay, we want you guys to sound like this. She sounded like that. We want you to sound more like this. Sound more like this. You want you to sound more pop. Oh, she gave us more pop records. Now she's giving people more Afrocentric records. Now she's doing that. So it's like she has, and you would think her ability to be a chameleon again, like you said, vocally and with her music. It would, translate into her acting, and it doesn't. And what a lot of people, or at least people who I follow on Twitter, are saying are like, let's be honest. When we heard Beyonce speaking as Nala, it just sounded like Beyonce talking. It didn't sound like Beyonce acting.
Right.
And I'll just say this, from what I've heard of, people talking about it on the radio, it sounds like the turnout was huge because people wanted to hear the voices.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what it's like. Oh, like all these black people can do all these voices.
Exactly.
Let's see how
great it would be.
Right.
And that's what it was.
Right. And then, was there any criticism toward Donald Glover? Because Donald Glover is technically the top billing star because he's Simba.
Yeah.
But like, we kind of.
I haven't heard any criticism of Donald Glover. I feel like more people are annoyed of Beyonce sounding like Beyonce than they are of anybody else. Someone said that, of course, James Earl Jones does what he does. He came to
vocal acting.
Someone also said
Alfred Woodard is his.
Alfred Woodard.
Yeah, you know she's gonna turn it out.
He's a Broadway star.
Thank you.
Who it was? They said. I think someone said that because I think not David Oyewelo.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Thank you.
He does.
They
Scar's
said that he turned it out for Scar, but the Be Prepared song number was bad. It didn't live up to the cartoon.
So context. Right? Be Prepared
is the villain song.
And we'll watch it because I have it on Amazon, and it's actually a good movie to watch. Like, intellectually, you'll get all the like Shakespearean Greek tragedy. Anyway, but Be Prepared is the song when he is plotting the death of his brother.
Yes.
It's a very pivotal scene because like it looks like in the front, like hellish.
Yes.
Like it's very Dante's Inferno.
It's like very Dante's Inferno, a lot of hellfire going on, and he's rallying all the hyenas.
Oh my God, and they're marching like fucking Nazis.
Yes.
Like, they're like not marching like Nazis. Yes. And these are things that we as children don't get. And then as an adult,
which is why I write about it.
Yes, and you
like
hear about that.
Did.
Yes, by the way, Afiya has written articles about that. Yes. And they are, dude, like, They're marching like Nazis, and this nigga is up there plotting his brother's murder, and his nephew's murder, and so like I
the whole song is him telling the hyenas like be prepared for the new coming of the king, like I'm going to take over, so everyone be prepared for me, like slaughtering this family and taking.
But he says a shiny new era is tiptoeing nearer, but and hyenas go, but where do we feature?
Just listen to teacher.
Yeah, I know it sounds daunting, but you'll be
you'll be rewarded.
Yeah. But it's like the